Hello, good morning. So today's is stretch and strengthen. So a lot of stretching but also a little bit of strength work. So we're going to start off just on all fours. So this one you can do without trainers, preferably barefoot or socks. And so starting, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Just going to gently spread the shoulder blades apart, arching the back and just sitting back towards your heels. And then keeping the arch, slowly roll back up, drop down into your cow pose. And then just keep on rolling, nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. Rolling through cat-cows. Nice deep breaths. Wake up the spine. Just going to do one more here. So up, spread the shoulder blades apart, sitting back. And then slowly rolling back up. Drop the belly down. Into cow. And then you're going to come back to neutral. Tap the toes underneath, just press back to down dog. Just pedal the feet out. One by one, and from here we're just going to move to little knee hoppers, then back up. So if that's too much, come all the way down and then push back up. So from here, just bending the knees, hover them about an inch off the floor, and then pressing back into the down dog, controlling the breathing here. Feel the shoulders having to work, control it with your core. Nice deep breaths. So just hovering, coming all the way down if you need to, reset. At any moment in any of these exercises, take a break if you need, and then come back to it. So one more here. And then just staying in the down dog, roll the feet out again, so try and press the ankles, or turn it down to the ground, so pedaling the feet. And then you're going to come down to your knees, bring your right foot forward, and you're just going to gently rock backwards and forwards, opening up that hip. And try and keep the knee tracking over the toes, we're keeping the hips nice and square. To really press through that front foot. And then stay forward, you're just going to lift your right hand up, really reach through your top fingertips. And then try and get the elbow as far down as you can to the inside. And then again, reaching up. So nice, slow control, nice deep breaths. Not trying to force anything. Just trying each time to maybe get a little bit further. One more here, so really reach, look up at your right fingertips, stretch, and then come elbow down, and then hands back together, knees back, you're going to get back to your down dog, and then knees down again, swap sides, so you're going to go left foot forward, just gently rocking, backs and forwards, again trying to make sure that left knee is tracking over your right foot. And then staying forward, you're going to lift your left hand this time, so looking up towards your left fingertips. And then trying to get that elbow down to the inside. And then reaching up. And you might find here one side slightly tighter and more difficult than the other. That is totally normal. But perhaps spending a little bit longer on the side that is tighter for you. A couple more here. And then you go back, knees back together, back to your down dog. And then from here you're either going to walk up to a low squat or jumping forward. Sitting nice and low as you can. That's too much coming up. Just sitting as low as you can into that squat, just rotating. Move side to side, just loosening those hips. And then from here, you're going to place your hands on the ground, if you can. If not, holding onto your shins. And then you're just going to sit back into your squat, and then rolling forward, top the head. So squat to forward folds. Nice deep breath. Again, each time just trying to get a little bit deeper. Really opening up into those hips. Nice deep breaths. Let's do a couple more here. Placing the hands on the ground, just going to walk or jump the feet back into a high plank position and just hold. So really try and switch the glutes on here, making sure you're pressing evenly through all your toes so you're not relying on the big toe and turning in. Nice solid core, using the glutes. Good, hold a couple more seconds here, stick with it. Good, then drop your knees down, come all the way down onto your mat. So your forehead's resting on the floor. And then from here, taking your feet a little bit wide, turn the feet out. And then you're just trying to, switching on the glutes here, we're going to do some spine extension. So hands off the mat. Imagine you're rolling the ball away with your nose. Gently lifting up. And then slowly all the way back down. So this one, it's really important we don't hinge off our back. Use your glutes to support the lift. If you feel like you're hinging and pinching in your lower back, just not coming as high. Think of reaching away rather than pulling up. Keep the spine nice and long. So lifting, open the chest, and then back down. Couple more here. If this one's easy for you here, try at the same time as lifting your head. Lift the legs off the ground, keeping them nice and straight, but making sure we aren't getting any pinching into the back. Up and back down. Another option, lift the hands up at the same time, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and back down. First one. It's literally just lifting the chest off the floor, trying to get into that spine extension. The back, so often neglected, is still part of our core. Important to strengthen, especially in the back bends. We spend so much time forward. Good. Coming all the way back down. Let's do a couple more here. Good, then hands back underneath the shoulders, pressing up and back into your child's pose. Just swaying side to side here. Good, and then we're going to come back into that down dog. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, curl the toes underneath, press back into down dog. Pedal the feet. We move into some hip openers here, so lifting right leg up, reach it to the sky and just take it over back behind the left leg and then back to neutral. So you can let the hips open up here to the right hand side and then bringing it back to square. So open up and then back to square. So really make sure you're planted through that left foot. Again, take this at your own pace if this feels too much. Dropping down, child's pose, and come back to it when you're ready. Good, one more. Good, and then dropping that foot down, just pedal the feet. Just going to drop the knees down, child's pose. And then we're going to go onto the other side. So lifting, back up into your down dog. So this time taking the left leg up and bring it over, open your hips out to the left and then back to neutral. Open them up to the left, back to neutral. So you're really planting through the right foot and making sure you're trying to get equal weight in both your hands. Just let the hips open up. Good, keep pressing away from the hands. Keeping the foot planted. One more here. Good, and feet back together. Pedal the feet out. Walking the hands forward into a high plank. You're just going to lower to knees if you need to, lowering all the way down. Open up the chest. And then we're going to move back into down dog for one of my favourite core ones. Oh, my cards are on this, you probably know which one I'm meaning. So lifting, leg up, and then bringing it to the outside of your elbow. So right foot nice and long, high, and then bring it outside your elbow. If you want more of a challenge, try cross body as well, underneath. And tapping a foot down in between these if you need to reset, and then go again. So really feel the core stretch and strengthen. Working the shoulders, working the hips. And just do one more here. Good, and then return back to your down dog. Take a second in child's pose again. Reaching all the way forward, just rocking gently, side to side. And then we're going to come back up into your down dog. Do the same on the left hand side, so left leg up nice and long. Bring it in, knee to the outside of your elbow. And then if you're doing cross body as well, underneath, back up. It's nice and long, strong. Moving nice and slowly, controlled here. Yeah, this one's tricky. Stick with it. Good, 2 more. Good, nice. Feet back to down dog. Back to the child's pose. Reaching all the way forward. Nice deep breaths. Good, and then we're going to move on to the side hip series. So coming onto your side, you want your hip and your shoulder in line. Tuck your hand underneath your head, support your head. And all the time you want to be thinking of lifting up this core. Keeping the hips forward. So hand out front and make sure we're not tipping back. And you're just going to take your right leg, whichever side you're lying on, nice and straight. Lift up, slowly back down. So nice, slow, controlled. And the aim of this is to work this glute here, and this side waist here. So you're lifting up, using them together, strengthening the hips, strengthening the core. Good, and again, take breaks as and when you need with these ones. These are tricky. 2, 1 more of these, and then keeping it parallel with your hip bone, you're going to bring the knee in towards your chest, and then hip back. So we're not coming up here, you're keeping it nice and level, and then kicking back nice and strong. And watching that sideways doesn't want to collapse, lifting up all the time, underneath sideways, arm out nice and long. Strong. If you need to, you can have your hand here to support on the floor. You're going to do 1 more of these, bring the knee in, kick back, and then just going to do 6 little circles, one way, and then reverse, 6 little circles the other way, really feel the burn, and then slowly return it back down, knees together, and then staying this side, we're going to take right hand back into a fist, and you're just going to sweep up overhead, and bring it back behind you in a big semicircle above your head, so you're watching your fist all the time with your hands, and you're keeping your hips nice and square, so it's just the shoulder, just the top of the spine, rotating back. Nice deep breaths. Good, one more here. Good, and then hand back down, so you're switching over. Other side to do now. So same thing, you want the hip and the shoulder in line, lifting up from that sideways, knees are bent, and then taking the top leg nice and straight. Stabilise here if you need to, or hovering your fist above, and just gently lift and lower, but without collapsing into the hips. So it doesn't matter about the height, more about keeping that sideways up, using this glute here. Good. You're over halfway through this session. Keep it going. One more of these. And then keeping that knee parallel with your hip. You're going to bring the knee up towards your chest, kicking back nice and strong. And watching here, the hips don't want to swing, we're not tucking. Bring the shoulders down. It's about keeping the top half of the body nice and stable. Just using the glute. So control, nice control. Breathing in and out through your nose will help here. Good, two more. Good, and then you've just got those little circles, 6 one way, 6 the other, so don't rush these. It's tempting, and then back the other way. So much harder if you go slower, so much better though as well. 2, 1, slowly bring it back and down. Hand into that fist, and you're just taking left fist above your head, nice big semicircle. Reaching around, bring it back. So this one's about shoulder and spine rotation, keeping the hips nice and stable. Nice deep breaths, and just keep following your hand with your eyes. Good, and then returning, hands together, coming up to sitting. And then when you're ready, into that 4-point kneeling again, and you're going to take your right leg out to the side. So we'll do this on the front, and you're just going to sit back nice and gently onto that heel. So you're stretching the inner thigh here, keeping your right foot planted, coming all the way back at that. Nice deep breaths on the side. Sitting back, rocking back up. So it's up to rocks. Make sure to keep that foot planted. Nice stretch for the outside of the foot, all the way down the outside here. Good, making sure the hips are staying nice and square. No swaying in the hips off to one side. One more. And then you're going to come, when you come back up, you're going to take your right hand up, fingertips up, and then you're trying to thread the arm underneath the left, and then bring it up. So you can let your left elbow, arm bend, trying to get that shoulder down to the ground, twisting up. Good, one more here. And then hands back together, slowly bring that leg back in, knee underneath the hip, and then you're going to take left foot out and do the same thing, so rocking back forward. So you can have your foot, your toes tucked under, or toes straight. I find toes tucked under is quite a nice stretch for the foot as well. stretching into the adductor, keeping the hips nice and square. And 2 more here. So again, nice, slow, controlled. And then lift left hand up, and then thread it underneath the right, trying to get that shoulder down to the ground. Or if it's not quite there, each time just trying to get a little bit further, a little bit closer. But never pushing into pain, a little bit of discomfort, but never pain. And 2 more. And then hands back together, knees back together, and then you're going to come back, sit untuck your feet, and then just sitting back onto your hips, onto your heels, sorry, taking your hands onto hips. We're going to come into some hip thrusters, so take the knees a little bit wider than hip distance will make it more rider specific. So obviously our knees aren't here, just take them wider, so about just the edges of the mat, and then from there you're just going to hinge forward from the hips, lifting up, squeeze the glutes and tuck the pelvis underneath at the top, and then sitting back. So try and keep a nice straight spine, keeping the gap between hips and ribs the same, so we're not letting the back arch. And then come up, minimal movement, and just adding that little hip tuck at the top to really fire those glutes, get the glutes working. So keeping the eye line forward, activating those glutes. Nice deep breaths. Good. 1 more. Good. And then walking the hands forward, bring the knees back underneath the hips. Going to move into Superman, so you've got some options here. We're trying to keep the back again nice still, minimal sway from the hips and then the shoulders. So you can either just lift opposite hand, knee up, hover, back down, swap sides, back down. Or for more advanced, reach it out, bring it all the way back in, touch opposite, back down, swap sides. So if you're new to this exercise, maybe just starting off with the hovers, start to feel that core, and then as you feel stronger, just try and reach away and then bringing back in. For those doing a full Superman, imagine you've got a spring between your knee and your hand, so gently pulling it apart and then gently recoiling, so we're not letting it spring back. Nice, slow, controlled. You should really feel this in your core. And then as you pull out, think of your glute, lifting the leg long and strong. Back down, a minimal movement from the hips and the shoulders here. Good, so wherever you are, you've got 4 more of these. And then the last one, come back down, reaching out, good, then from there just sitting back into child's pose stretch, and we can move into more stretches. So reaching the hands all the way forward, nice big stretch for the back and the hips. You can here take the knees a little bit wider as well to get deeper into the hips. Melting the chest down. Chin or forehead to the ground if you can. And then from here, just coming up. So hips are more over the knees and you're trying to get Left arm underneath the right. Pressing through his right fingertips for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Nice deep breath, trying to slow the breathing, slow the heart rate. And then swapping sides. So taking left underneath the right. Pressing through the left fingertips this time for a bit of a deeper stretch. So leaving the hips forward, walk the hands forward, elbows down to the ground, and just trying to melt the heart down. Pressing to getting a deeper stretch into the shoulders, getting some spine extension here. Nice deep breaths. Chin or forehead down to the ground if you can, or tuck in, hands underneath, support your head. And then when you're ready, gently bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and just moving into some of those rolling cat-cows. So arching the back, sit back, coming forward and dropping the belly down, looking up towards the ceiling. So slowly moving through these. Notice is there any difference from the start to now? Can you get slightly more movement? Hopefully feeling a little bit looser. Good, and on these ones you can do so from the side, so pressing back to the left side, draw a circle round, coming up and then into curl, and then reverse it, go the other way, so weight over towards your right, shift it to the left, all the way back up, and then drop down. Good. And then from there, just tucking the toes underneath, going to press back to down dog, pedal the feet, and then just bringing right foot next to your right hand, drop the left knee, taking both hands up, going to reach them up above your head, and then bending the elbows, suck the shoulders back and down, a little bit of back extension if you can here, that feels painful, staying forward, trying to reach back, and then just reach up, reaching down. You can have a little pulse here, so as you come up, lift out the stretch, and then reaching in. Just one more here. Reach up, and hands back down. Swapping sides, so left forward, stretching in, and then lifting the hands up above the head. Bending the elbows, bring the shoulders blades down together, press up, move away from the stretch, elbows down, move in. So just trying to get a little bit of back bend, looking up to the ceiling if you can. One more. Pressing up, hands back down, feet back together, curl the toes back to that down dog again for the last time, and then just going to gently walk the feet towards the hands, just grabbing hold of the elbows and gently twist side to side, keeping your chin tucked in, nice, soft, relaxed, and then just gently letting the arms swing side to side. And then slowly, with each sway, just rolling up the spine. Slowly, slowly. Getting a little bit higher each time. And then coming all the way up. And then just gently shrugging the shoulders back and down. Rolling the head. A few circles one way, then rotate back. A few circles the other. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, I hope you found that useful. I will be posting a link to this video in my Instagram bio and on my YouTube channel as well, so you can